Good morning, Facebook, and for those who are awake, let me tell y'all why I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning, right? So, I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning because, in any relationship, there is a give and take. In any relationship, there is a time of recollection and a time of going back into self, a time of when y'all will bump heads. Um, I am a Leo, a strong-hearted, egotistical, sometimes very prideful Leo. Whereas my fiance is a Taurus. So I want to talk about this morning the fact that we had an argument last night and whatever. But the thing isn't that of the argument, because the argument was ridiculous and redundant of all. But the thing is that I had to meditate last night, get my brain cells on stillness. I've been talking about stillness this week and love this week and that overall self-love and um, abundance of knowing who you are. So, after I meditated and my fiance texted me like 5:30, 5 something this morning, and he was, saying little things that was kind of like ticking up my nerves. And it was like I was trying to prove a point to him to let him know, no, that's not how it is, Grand Rising. I was letting him trying to, it was feeling like I was trying to validate who I was, trying to get him to see who I was, right? Explaining my emotions, explaining that that's not what I meant and all this other stuff. However, the more that I tried to explain, the more things got taken or taken out of context. So I've been learning, and I keep hearing Oshun in my head. And she was like, why are you trying to validate yourself? Why are you trying to explain yourself? If somebody is going to see you, third eye. If somebody is going to see you and acknowledge you, they're going to see you and acknowledge you regardless of their own pain and their own sorrow. So as I was saying, me having to validate and explain these things to my fiance of, how the argument went or however it was, I had to realize that at the end of the day, Oshun and my ancestors are telling me love myself first. By being that strong woman, you know, segments that are set in me, that Oshun in me, I have no reason to validate myself to anyone, whether it be my parents, whether it be my lover, whether it be my children. To understand who I am first and foremost is the most important out of anything. So being able to understand that oneness and that self-love of self, I had to realize and understand that just because my fiance or my parents or my children, whoever it may be, don't see me as I see me, does not mean that I have to validate or judge or disrespect them in any way, shape, form, or fashion. By loving myself and by loving who I am, in general, is letting me further be able to love those around me, being able to love the accusations, being able to love the fact that I can see you. I can see your pain, your hurt. I have no reason to get upset with you. I have no reason to judge you because everybody has some fault to them. So my fiance was feeling in some way that I was judging him, however, not taking into account that that was not the case. That I was actually, genuinely coming from a place of, trying to build, whereas my passion was coming off as being judgmental to him. And for that, and with that being said, my apologies is due to him because of the fact that in no way, shape, form, or fashion was I trying to disrespect him. I am up at 6 o'clock in the morning because, he called me at 5:30 and I started writing in my journal. My ancestors and my intuition was saying, get up, write about it. So I got up, wrote about it, feeling good about it, meditated on it. And it's like I'm on that high frequency this morning, early in the morning, y'all. I even beat my son up. He usually beats me up in the morning. So I'm probably gonna get ready to cook breakfast and get it done, do what it do. The early bird catches the worm. So then after I got done writing, getting done with my meditation, then the ancestors were saying in my head, do a video. This is something that's common between any relationship with anybody. And something that my black brothers and black sisters got to know is just because you are in your emotions in any type of argument or any type of point of question, you need to let go of that emotional attachment, that energy and motion of attachment. Let me turn this down. By letting go of that emotional attachment to whatever the problem or that negative energy is, you can better be able to stand outside of self to find yourself in each other. Something that my fiance has not yet got concept of is that for me, I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, I know how to, just as quick as I can admit my faults, I can heal just as quickly. So when I see something in myself and I see foolishness in myself, and I see, when I've done something wrong or something to offend someone, I can then look back onto me. Hi, Cyrus. I can better look into myself and be like, you know what? I have no place to judge anyone. I have no place to feel sorry for myself. Those days are over. And I feel like with the totality of people, humanity, black people, black women and their men, we need to be able to love each other as we love ourselves. Stop blaming the next man for your own self-judgments. Stop blaming your woman or your man for how you feel for you. Being able to acknowledge self-love enough to where, what, let me check myself first. Let me see where I was wrong first. Let me find out what my problem was first. You know what I'm saying? The more you do that, the more you step outside of self, the more you observe yourself, the more you can see that connection with someone else. And that's what I wanted to make this video on. That factor of, when I was having this, disagreement with my fiance, I was finding that, like I said before, I was trying to validate something. When you're trying to validate something or trying to prove something to someone else, that's because you feel a certain type of insecurity in yourself. Those days are done. With me, I rid my filth, I rid my dirt from that, and it has nothing to do with arrogance. People are getting tripped up on this white concept of just because of me self-loving myself and that confidence don't make me arrogant, don't make me selfish. Just because I'm loving who I am and I'm loving the growth of who I am and I'm loving the light of who I am does not make it mean that I'm judging you in any way. It doesn't make it mean that I'm arrogant or cocky or any of these things. But the more that I am self-loving myself, mentally, spiritually, gaining that growth, the more I grow in understanding that I cannot put blame on anyone else or myself. You just let life flow. You let life flow. You let that energy move like water. And the more I am letting that energy move and flow through me, and the more I burn and recreate myself, the more I become in tune with myself, the more I see the pain in other people. Whether it's my fiance, whether it's my parents, whether it's, my friends, whether it's other siblings in my family, the more I find that placement of myself, the more it's kind of like, the more I become in a lonely circle, but the more my squad, my ancestors is who I call my squad. The more I move into that place of self and that place of circle of self, everybody has different opinions of who you are. So for me, my mom sees me different than my fiance sees me. My fiance sees me different than my siblings see me. My siblings see me different than my child will see me. My child will see me different than, random people on the street will see me. Everybody has their own identification of who I am. But only I can validate me. Only I can validate that strength in myself. Only I can validate who I am. You know what I'm saying? Only I can know who I am. My twin flame is my twin flame, an identical of me, but not me. A piece of me, but not me. I love my twin flame. I love my fiance, love him to death, But at the end of the day, not even he can validate me. Only I can do that. With that being said, my love will always be there. You know what I'm saying? Oshun be talking to me and being like, love, love, love. Gotta love yourself first. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to be that strength in self. And that's what I'm learning day by day, night by night. Just like I'm up at 6:20 in the morning? Up 6:20 in the morning because I feel her energy. I had to get up out of my sleep because I'm no longer tired anymore. Like, I'm energetic because I just learned a lesson through my sleep, through my visions, through my meditation last night, and I again meditated this morning. And through writing, I realized more and more that my love of self and acknowledging that I don't need to validate myself. I don't need to prove anything to anyone. If you don't see me, you just don't see me. That ain't my problem. That is not my problem. Like I was saying, everybody has their own view of you. My parents, my fiance, my children, my son rather, everybody has their own view of who you are. With that being said, there's no need to explain anything to anyone. I don't have to explain my feelings to you. I don't have to explain my pain, my sorrows, my love. I don't have to validate anything to you. And when I say to you, I'm saying in general, to anyone. Anybody I come across, I don't have to validate myself to. And that's the reason of this video, to let everybody else know when it comes to love of self, you no longer have to validate yourself to anyone else. Because that's pointless. Like I said, it's all about that unity. It's all about that love. Oshun talking to me about love of self. Love of self means I don't have to validate myself. I don't have to explain myself to anyone else. I can heal you. I can try to, put that information out there, because the more I heal myself and the more I gain that self-love, the more I am better able to share that self-love with someone else. But that doesn't mean you take that self-love and that healing that I'm giving you and try to turn it back on me. When I'm explaining my faults or my failures or my experiences to you, it doesn't mean that you take that and you flip it because you're in a place of pain. That's a certain type of self-love you will have to understand on your own. A certain type of self-love you will have to acknowledge on your own. And that is what I wanted to speak on this morning, is being able to be real with yourself. I'm real with myself enough to be like, it's not my problem that you don't see me. That's not me being cocky or arrogant. That's myself of being confident in my own self-love and validation. I don't know if y'all hear my music, but I got Erica Badu playing on my phone. You know what I'm saying? Feeling it this morning, y'all. So again, y'all, love is love. Love will show itself no matter what, and only the person who is looking, searching that same travel as you, parallel to you, will see you. So there's no need to validate yourself. There's no need to explain yourself to someone else. That person who is meant to see you will see you. And that is the whole key of this conversation this morning. Everybody needs to remember that. Don't disrespect your woman. Don't disrespect your random sisters in the street. My sisters to y'all. Stop disrespecting y'all's man. Stop disrespecting y'all's brothers. You know what I'm saying? Stop disrespecting each other. Because the more you disrespect each other, that means, and that is just letting me further know, and should to you, let you know that you're disrespecting yourself. Because that other entity, that other brother or sister is you. That's what self-love means. That's what knowing that self means. It means everybody is a reflection of you. That sibling, that sister, that brother, that child, that fiance, that parent, any other form is another form of you in spirit, in spiritual consciousness. So stop getting upset with yourself. Meaning, stop getting upset with the next man because you don't realize who you are of self. I hope I'm making sense to those who are watching the video and those who will be seeing this video. We got to give it up. Brighter day, magnificent love towards you. Thank you, Jason. Thank you very much. Yeah, but like I was saying, that's how I came into wanting to talk this morning. I'm making this video this morning because of an argument I had with my fiance last night. And I had to realize certain things that I can't get mad at him. For what? What am I getting mad at him about? Love will always be love. He knows I love him, just like I know he loves me. And I feel like that should be the same thing that should be carried out into the community. We need to feel that love for ourselves so we can feel the love of each other and someone else. Just because you have a disagreement or an argument or a disagreement, that altercation, just because you have that, don't mean you attach yourself to that emotion to be able to knock heads with somebody and keep it going. Yeah. So that is my whole point. Thanks, Sherwin. That is my whole point with this, is that we need to uplift each other. Stop knocking heads with each other. Just because you're in that emotional attachment with someone because you are hurt, because your inner pain is the pain you carried and placed on somebody else, does not mean that is the place that you should stay. We need to get out of this emotional attachment of our pains. Get out of this emotional attachment of these sorrows. The whole reason why me and my fiance had gotten an argument is because he misunderstood me about a post that he put up. And it was a post on, it had, the white master slave, whipping all these different slave females, black females. And it was like chained and locked up and whatnot. And, I was like, why are we broadcasting so much pain? It's time to get out of that mentality of pain. We can't continue. How can we heal if you're constantly ripping off the scabs, right? And to me, when we're constantly placing our mind frame in these painful scenarios of slavery, painful scenarios of constant negativity, the only way you can heal is by getting yourself out of negativity and placing it into an optimistic space, a positive space, a space of love. And I think that that's where we kind of like bumped heads at, is because as I was trying to explain that to him, he was taking it as I was judging him, when that wasn't the case. The case wasn't my judgment. The case was, I'm trying to shed light. I'm trying to, bring to him that, we have to let that go. As the strong woman that I am, with the power of Sekhmet and the power of Oshun and the power of Aset, my job, like the Trinity, is to heal my nation. The black woman is the one where it first begins because it first fell with her. And that is that love. As I said in the Trinity mentioned, it states she can heal all of her man because she brought all of the pieces of him together except for his penis, except for his phallus. The only way she could recreate that was through the spirit of love. I can't help my man or women cannot help their men gain back their manhood and love of self. Only he can do that. I can help him to recreate it with the love of the spirit, just like any woman with their man, you know. But I cannot force my opinions on him. I cannot force my validations on him. Otherwise, to an extent, he will take it as judgment. And I can understand that. So that is the point, like I said, of this video this early in the morning, was to let it be known that, our love of self will overcast and overshadow any pain, any trauma, any judgment. Again, my love, because I know you will watch this video eventually. I just want you to know, baby, I have no disrespect towards you. I have no judgment against you. It will always be, love to you. Always. Just as much as I know he'll be watching this, y'all, I know that we'll be talking about this later, and that's how we heal. Like I said, he's a Taurus, I'm a Leo. We sometimes have those stores. We sometimes have those stubborn mindsets where we just constantly bumping heads, but we overcome those, overcome that stubbornness with the love that we have with each other. And I feel like that is what, again, my women and my black women, my black men need to understand about each other, let alone understand that same fact with understanding a different culture of people. Love yourself first. Therefore, you have an understanding on the pain of somebody else, and you can love them regardless of that. There's no need for judgment in this world. No need. If you love yourself, there's no need for judgment. You know what I'm saying? Once you get out of that insecure place and that place of pain and hurt, you can now move forward to the next realm. And that's what I wanted to speak on tonight, y'all. So I have a YouTube channel, Manosione, Spiritual Advisor. I will be doing more videos, when things come to me and, I'm told to do so, I will be doing them. I hope that y'all follow me on my YouTube. I also have a self-published book, Affairs of the Heart, on lulu.com. I have the Instagram. All of that information is on my page. If anybody wants a tarot reading, natal chart, spiritual counsel, need me to help with the spiritual healing, by all means, inbox me. And, much love, y'all. Ubuntu.